year is 1348. The bells do not stop ringing. Across Europe, cities fall into silence between the tolls of death. Streets empty, doors close, families abandon one another out of fear. The disease has no face, no mercy, and no cure. It moves faster than prayer and leaves faster than grief can understand. This is the age of the Black Death. And yet, in the middle of collapse, a group of young people makes a strange decision. They choose to tell stories, not as entertainment, but as survival. Tonight, we explore how one of the most devastating catastrophes in human history gave birth to a masterpiece of storytelling, and why narrative becomes most powerful when the world falls apart. When the plague reached Florence, it did more than kill bodies. It broke systems. Laws weakened, customs dissolved, social roles blurred. Contemporary witnesses described scenes of abandonment, neighbors avoiding neighbors, parents avoiding children, rituals left unfinished. Fear reorganized society faster than any ruler could. In moments like this, humans face more than mortality. They face meaninglessness. When structure collapses, the question is not only, will I live, but what does anything mean now? It is in that psychological vacuum that storytelling becomes medicine. Giovanni Boccaccio, a writer from Tuscany, witnessed the devastation firsthand. But instead of writing only a chronicle of horror, he imagined a counter scene. 10 young Florentines, 7 women and 3 men, flee the infected city and take refuge in a villa in the countryside. There, removed from the daily sight of death, they create order where none exists outside. They build a schedule. They establish rules. They elect a daily leader. And most importantly, they tell stories. 10 days, 10 storytellers, 100 tales. This frame becomes the Decameron. But what matters is not only the stories themselves. It is the act of structured storytelling inside chaos. Disaster destroys predictability. Narrative restores sequence. Beginning, middle, end. Cause, effect, meaning. In crisis, the human mind searches desperately for pattern. Stories provide it. The storytellers in the villa do not tell only heroic tales. They tell comic stories, romantic misadventures, clever deceptions, moral reversals, and satire. They laugh at hypocrisy. They expose corruption. They celebrate wit over status. Why laughter in a time of mass death? Because humor is not denial, it is defiance. Psychologists today recognize what medieval storytellers practiced instinctively. Humor creates cognitive distance from terror. It allows the mind to breathe when reality suffocates it. Many of the tales mock corrupt clergy, greedy officials, and false moralists. This is not accidental. Catastrophe often exposes institutional weakness. Story becomes a safe court of appeal when formal justice fails. In storytelling, power can be judged without punishment.
10 young Florentines.
The
The
Decameron
leader is a
also
woman with
does
a
something
bond and a velvet
revolutionary
doublet.
for its time. It places ordinary people at the center of narrative importance. Merchants, servants, lovers, tricksters, widows, apprentices, not kings and saints, drive the drama. This shift matters because during catastrophe, hierarchy collapses. Death does not respect rank. Storytelling that centers common people reflects the new psychological reality. Vulnerability is universal. The influence of this storytelling model spread far beyond Italy. Geoffrey Chaucer's Canterbury Tales adopts a similar framed storytelling journey. Later European literature absorbs the lesson. Multiple voices can hold a fractured world. Even Shakespeare echoes plots and themes traceable to Boccaccio's narratives. Catastrophe produced not silence, but a storytelling engine that powered centuries. There is another layer often overlooked. The Decameron is not purely optimistic. Many stories end ironically. Some end tragically. Fortune turns without warning. Cleverness sometimes fails. Love can destroy as well as save. Why include dark endings during dark times? Because honest storytelling builds stronger psychological shelter than false comfort. False hope collapses under pressure. Complex truth endures. Modern crisis researchers note the same principle. Resilient communities do not rely on optimism alone. They rely on flexible meaning systems. The Decameron models flexibility. Love is foolish and noble. Authority is necessary and corruptible. Luck is cruel and generous. Human reality is mixed and survivable. During the COVID pandemic, readers returned to plague literature in surprising numbers, not out of morbid curiosity, but recognition. Isolation, uncertainty, disrupted routines, the emotional architecture felt familiar. Readers rediscovered something medieval storytellers already knew. Shared narrative reduces perceived isolation. When experience is narrated, it becomes communal rather than solitary. This may be why storytelling gatherings appear in so many crisis traditions, from ancient epics recited after wars to folk tales preserved through famine and displacement. Stories are social oxygen. The villa in the Decameron is not only a location, it is a model, a protected narrative space where humans rebuild meaning together. We might call it today a psychological quarantine zone, but instead of isolating bodies, it protects minds. And perhaps that is the deepest legacy of Boccaccio's masterpiece. It teaches that when the world becomes incomprehensible, humans do not survive by data alone. They survive by narrative. Facts describe events. Stories organize experience. One tells us what happened. The other tells us how to live with it. In the end, the Decameron is not just a collection of tales born during a plague. It is a demonstration of a survival instinct older than medicine and stronger than fear. When catastrophe arrives, humans gather, humans speak, humans tell stories. And through stories, they remain human. If this journey into medieval resilience and narrative survival spoke to you, stay with us, because the past is not only what happened, it is how people endured.